Adamawa State, located in the northeastern part of Nigeria, has the vegetation of savanna, Guinea savanna and semi-arid zone that is suitable for agricultural production. The population is predominantly farmers. Adamawa State over the years has witnessed a series of agricultural initiatives which have raised farmers' interest for agriculture. Considering the potentials lying fallow in the subsector, these can be harnessed by any visionary and passionate government with the heart for development and the urge to salvage its people from poverty.
Well, let me go back to the recent history once again. When we came in 2015, the governor, the first thing he did was to do a survey once again to establish like what the conditions were at the time, so that we will see what we are progressing toward. And so to establish this, we did a rapid survey and found that Adamawa farmers are producing on 232,000 hectares. So now 232,000 hectares in the rainy season of 2015 for all the various commodities that are produced in the state. The next season, 2016, we carried out another survey and we saw that the amount of land that's put under production has grown to 480,000 hectares. Now this clearly demonstrated that Adamawa people do not need a lot of advocacy to be able to decide for themselves that agriculture is really the sector to be in. And clearly this goes along with our thinking. When we carried out the survey in 2017, we concluded that Adamawa farmers have actually put 1,015,000 hectares under production. So while we do some advocacy, we won't credit ourselves with all the encouragement that went to make people to decide that agriculture is the sector of choice for them.
With the emergence of His Excellency Senator Muhammadu Umaru Jibril Abindo as Executive Governor of Adamawa State, no stone is left unturned in policies to ensure full participation of critical stakeholders such as youth, women, civil servants, traditional leaders, corporate associations, government and non-governmental organizations, and interested individuals to key into farming as a business for sustainable development of the state. What has been your experience in this mobilization process, Honorable Commissioner of Agriculture, Alhaji Ahmadu Haruna Waziri?
Yes, when our governor was sworn in May 2015, we came in at a very difficult time when resources were at their lowest until the time that we came, when very little attention was paid to the rural populace and especially the farming community. And we realized that it was farmers that voted this government into place. It was farmers predominantly. 85% of the population of Adamawa depend directly or indirectly on agriculture for their livelihoods. So when we came in, we realized that we had to work for the people that brought us into power. And the governor instructed that we should look at what support services that the previous government may have, or preparations and arrangements that the previous government may have left on the ground for farmers, so that we'll continue implementing. To our greatest shock, there was nothing at all. Even though we were in the middle of the rainy season, there was no provisions made for input support to farmers, let alone mechanization. And you know, the 7 northernmost local government areas also are just coming out of the insurgency. So it was very difficult for the government, it was very difficult for the people of Adamawa. So the first thing that the governor ordered was for some fertilizer to be made available to the people, even though it was quite deep into the season. If it was made quickly available, then a lot of farmers will still benefit from its availability. So this the government set out to do immediately, and within weeks we started seeing fertilizer coming into the state.
Realizing agriculture as a science that demands practical approach from demonstration and application of scientific technology, the Bindo-led administration found it paramount to bring the challenges faced by farmers in the past to an end by providing basic farm inputs to farmers in all the 21 local government areas of the state. The Honorable Commissioner of Agriculture speaks further.
Adamawa State, I'm happy to say, is one of those states that has tremendous potential as far as agriculture is concerned. We have close to 4 million hectares of land in Adamawa State, and of that, less than half of it is actually, much less than half of it is actually under production. Of the 4 million hectares, our estimates are that about 2.6, 2.9 million hectares are completely suitable for arable agriculture. Now, from our latest rapid survey on agricultural production in the state during the current rainy season, we have discovered that about 1 million hectares is under production. So almost 2 million hectares more is still yet to be touched, is still yet to be put under production. Adamawa has tremendous potential to grow its agriculture. Also, we have the 2 rivers, the Gongola and the Benue, passing through the state, bringing a lot of water. There are numerous smaller rivers crisscrossing the whole state. There are areas where water is stored throughout there so that you can do irrigation agriculture very easily. There is no local government area where you cannot do irrigation agriculture. Our people's heritage is agriculture. So this government realizes all this, and our governor is giving us all the support that we require to see that we convert this potential into reality, and that is what we are working on.
In addition, the Adamawa State Government, under the State Ministry of Agriculture, in an effort to boost agricultural production through irrigation, have scaled up production by identifying key clusters of dry season farmers and supported them with irrigation facilities such as seeds and irrigation water pumps to ease their farming activities, which in turn has led to unprecedented increase in the production output.
First and foremost, I will have to appreciate His Excellency and his deputy, because I think this is the first time agriculture is getting support because of the importance of agri to what is happening now in the economy of the country and the state. The ministry on its own part appreciates the gesture from government, and honestly the ministry is ready. Talk about manpower, we have all it takes to turn the economy of Adamawa State around, and even Nigeria as a country. We have our extension agents that are working assiduously with the farmers at the grassroots. It is a government that has gone down to the grassroots to help farmers improve on their food production. Training and retraining. I'm sure you have witnessed the training of farmers last year. About 40,000 farmers were trained on best practices on agriculture for increased food production. We have been partnering with a lot of NGOs because resources nowadays are not easy to come by. So we partner with NGOs who assist in training of our extension agents so that they can now go down to the grassroots and train the farmers. And talk about input. Farming is timeline. If it's time bound. For the first time, we've been able to give farmers input as at when due. And I think it's a great development in agriculture.
Land preparation is one of the critical areas of concern to farmers in the state, which at the end of every production, if not done properly, has effects on crop yield of the farmers. Senator Muhammadu Umaru Jibrilla, in line with his vision of making farmers adopt agriculture as business and appealing to the farmers through mechanization, in 2016 went ahead and procured 105 tractors with complete sets of traction implements and distributed them to the 21 local government areas of the state.
I would say straight away that mechanization will make all the difference in our agriculture. It's only in this part of the world that we even begin to talk about mechanization as compared to non-mechanization, because agriculture elsewhere is integral with mechanization. One of the earliest observations we made when we came in as a government was that there was total absence of any kind of mechanization in our agriculture. This is the agriculture that's been practiced by our forefathers for centuries. There were periods in our history in this country and in this state especially that government may have procured some agricultural equipment to mechanize agricultural production, but they were looked at as novelties at the time. This is no longer the case, because every other aspect of our lives has advanced. It's only the agriculture that appears to not have. And agriculture is probably the most important vocation as far as we should be concerned. Now, the governor, when we came in, directed that we should bring up a plan very quickly to see how we can impact on the production efficiencies, the productivities, and the amount of output in our agriculture in the state. And that directive gave rise to a quick decision that before anything, we should buy agricultural tractors with implements to match with them, to at least begin to show that we know what we're doing, and mechanization is has no alternative, or there is no alternative to it, and so on. So straight away, through the local government system, the state procured 105 tractors with harrows and with plows to begin with. These are Massey Ferguson 72 horsepower tractors. These were delivered and were distributed throughout the state to the local government councils. We reasoned that taking this equipment to the local government made more sense than anything, because that is actually where the mechanization is required. Keeping them in the state capital and managing them from the state level would not make sense to our farmers, who are at the grassroots level and who would like the convenience of being able to just wake up any morning and go and book for the services of a tractor and expect that the same day that tractor will be on their farm, or at any rate not more than a day or two after they book for these services.
Governor Muhammadu Umaru Jibrilla felt it imperative to resuscitate the lost glory of the agricultural extension system that has been instrumental to educating farmers in the 1970s, which had led the nation to food sufficiency and produced the groundnut pyramids for export.
I am Honorable Yusuf Mohammed, the Executive Chairman of Madaga Local Government. In the first place, I think I will give kudos to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Adamawa State. I think for the past, if I'm not mistaken, 20 years, local government never had brown new tractors until the architect of the new Adamawa came to the aid of local government to provide a brand new 5 tractors and farm implements to each of the 21 local government in Adamawa State. And to be sincere, it has boosted agricultural production in this state. Before, it's very difficult for people of this state to access or to get tractor to plug their farm. Either they will be coming from Taraba or Borno or Gombe. But now it's we that are sending our tractors because of its availability to other states. So, to be sincere, Governor Bindo have did very wonderful in boosting agricultural production in Adamawa State, especially even fertilizer. Fertilizer were supplied, were given to 21 local government at an early, before planting season. Likewise, seedling, water pumps to local governments for both dry and rainy season. So I think Bindo is doing wonderful in all aspects to make sure that we have food surplus in Adamawa State in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, the Honorable Commissioner, who is an expert in that field.
There is no doubt agriculture is the mainstay of many nations in Africa, including Nigeria. Could this be the reason why the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari has designed and adopted so many result-oriented developmental strategies that will help reduce unemployment and poverty through agriculture? This passion by the federal government is replicated as the Bindo-led administration has keyed into every agricultural initiative introduced by the federal government that would help improve the living standard of the people. What has been the agricultural initiative adopted by the state government, and in what way has it impacted on agriculture in the state?
In Adamawa State, before we came, there are a number of initiatives that were going on, that had gone on, which we had hoped we would find legacies of, so that we can build on and so on. Now, the latest scheme that has come to town is the Accelerated Agriculture Development Scheme that is funded by the Central Bank of Nigeria, no less. This is a scheme that is intended specifically for young people, unemployed young people between the ages of 18 and 35, to be able to do anything along some chosen commodity value chains. Here in Adamawa, we have chosen the maize value chain and also livestock value chain. In the livestock value chain, of course, I mean, there are several possible value chains, including such as beef production, for instance, or dairy production, and any other such value chains that may be allied to that. What this means is that potential beneficiaries can peg which component of the value chain or at what level of the value chains they would like to participate, and they will describe their projects and so on, and then the CBN undertakes to fund these activities to 100% without any kind of collateral. The state government is expected to guarantee the loans with an irrevocable standing payment order when the loans are mature, due for repayment, and so on. So in Adamawa State, we are working very hard to implement this. The CBN had indicated that it requires every state to nominate at least 10,000 young people to benefit from this, at least. Here in Adamawa, already in the dry season, we are looking at well over 10,000. Come the rainy season, hopefully, we will be able to submit names of over 100,000 potential beneficiaries. This is a very important scheme, in my opinion, because it gives you the possibility of mopping up all the unemployed young people in our cities, in our towns, in the countryside, and also, you know, because of the approaching days of politics, usually it's the young people that are used as incendiary to create problems and so on. When they are profitably employed, who would have the time to get involved in all the violence associated with that kind of politics? So I see it as a strategic and also a very exciting scheme for states to implement. Here in Adamawa State, we are putting everything that we have to see that we succeed in implementing this scheme.
In Mubi, there is nothing to hide. We are all doing our best to see that, first of all, peace reigns and progress. And I want to assure all those concerned, this program will be a success. And then the youth are going to get what is right for them, farmers, traders, and press. And we will do our best. Because I have 24 districts, and I will invite all the district heads, inform them the mission of the central bank, let them go to their own districts, inform the villages, the district and the water and the people concerned. and then let them bring me the data so that we will investigate and see how far we can go.
It's good that under this tenure, far again, what is dividends of democracy. Chino, that every week, not less than 50 trailer loads of rice leaves this kingdom. So if there's any priority, apparently first it should be rice. Go complement it with maize. I'm still requesting.
Nigeria's economy, particularly in the past, is based on the oil production, but the present government has decided to diversify the economy, and it has identified two key areas, particularly solid minerals and agriculture. Agriculture being the mainstay of our economy in the past, I think it is in the right direction for the federal government to visit agricultural production in this country, and in particular the most populated group in this country are the youth. If we don't take care of the youth, definitely we are ruining our future.
The future of agriculture is what we are very excited about in this state. Adamawa State has tremendous potential, everybody agrees. And we intend to exploit that potential for the benefit of Adamawa farmers. We have managed in our thinking, in our planning, to tie all the ends together to create the linkages, not just for production. Until now, everybody's looking at production agriculture, but now we have succeeded in creating the linkages between all the various components of the value chains for all the commodities that are produced in Adamawa. We have looked extensively at the production of all the various commodities. We have looked at the challenges associated with the preservation and storage of different commodities. We've looked at the technologies involved in both the preservation and the processing of the various technologies. We have looked at markets, so we have looked at the needs of markets, that is the packaging needs of markets and so on for all our various technologies. And bottom line is to get different types of investors involved, interested in producing, in processing, and in marketing products in and from Adamawa State. We think we have tremendous potential. Now, if we take our blueprint, it features 6 bouquets of activities. Each bouquet has a lot of different activities that are related, that are can be integrated and so on. And looking at them, we realize that there is a need, first of all, for government to show its presence everywhere in the state.
Today, the story of agriculture in Adamawa State under Senator Muhammadu Umaru has changed. Farmers can now make business through agriculture. Many have enough from their produce to feed their families and the excess for sale and attend other socio-economic activities. Their testimonies confirm the reality of the impact of the Bindo's pragmatic approach to agricultural development.